Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as a Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about what I think the most important crystal is. I get asked this question so often and my answer always changes to the person who's asking the question. People ask me who maybe they're new to their spiritual journey or maybe they're new to just learning about crystals, but what is the most important crystal? Who wants to know the answer? Okay, so the most important crystal technically is the most important crystal to you at the time. What does that mean? Oh no, it's not. I thought he was going to say Moldavite. No, Moldavite's the worst crystal for you guys to be using. That's why when you get it, you lose it. It's because you were never supposed to get it in the first place, and your angels got it away from you. You guys sometimes get 3-4 pieces of Moldavite, and some of you are lucky enough to be getting fake Moldavite, but some of you are actually getting real Moldavite, and your angels are like, didn't we tell you it's supposed to be gifted? And then you say to yourself, well, it was in my intuition to gift it to myself at the time. And your angels are like, yeah, you're ungrounded to begin with, and you're ungrounded anyway, so and they get rid of the Moldavite for you. And you're like, whenever I get Moldavite, it always goes missing. Yeah, because you're not supposed to get it. What don't you get? I'm being harsh on some people because when they do get Moldavite, everything goes wrong. And they're like, finally, it's changing my life. I'm like, well, you never grounded before you got the Moldavite. Now everything's crazy. You're not able to get anything out of what's going on. And it's not helping you. So your angels are going to get away from you if they actually care about you. Now, back to the topic of what's the most important crystal ever for you. Oh, okay. I'm gonna make this very easy. Whatever crystal, I'm gonna add. There's a few facets to this. So now, whatever some of you already know, whatever crystal disgusts you the most, whatever crystal that you feel like is just like, ugh, I can't work with that crystal. For me, it was dog tooth calcite because it looks like a rotting dog tooth, and I'm like, and when I worked with it, I actually opened a new gift just by opening it. I mean, just by opening its energetic pathways to me, and I'm like, wait a second, I've been avoiding it the whole time. The next crystal on my list, because I'm going to tell you some like a little more personal information about me. One crystal that I have waited a very long time to get is Vivinite. I think the crystal's disgusting. Just because of what the introduction of people were giving it to me. It's not a crystal I knew of before people are introducing it to me. But people are like, you know, this crystal grows inside dead bodies, right? Ooh, how cool is this crystal? I'm like, what's wrong with you? I mean, if you joined my live and you're the one asking the question, I'm sorry. But that question like it changed the taste in my mouth. I'm just like, okay, yeah, thanks. I'm not getting the crystal now. But I actually needed to get the crystal the most because some of its properties are amazing. It can bring back... Basically, it could revive dead abilities from past lives. When I teach about Vivinite, the information is not going to be on here. I'm going to tell you that right now. But Vivinite's actually a crystal that I need to work with the most. How do I know that? It's because I was disgusted by the crystal, and that's the best crystal for me. Whatever ability, whatever pathways that resided in me in my past lives are going to come back when I work with it, and that's just one really cool thing about Vivinite. And it doesn't just grow in dead bodies. Like, that's a common thing to happen. Like, I found out of all days, on Memorial Day, I found out, oh, some of these people who have died in the field are literally growing Vivinite. I'm like, I don't want to work with this crystal. I don't want to work with this crystal. But guess what? I'm going to work with the crystal, and new things are going to happen because I'm working with that crystal. But it's the one I needed the most. How do I know? It's because I don't like it. I don't like any idea about the thought of Vivinite. I don't like necromancy crystals. Sorry, but technically it's not a necromancy crystal, and it shouldn't ever be thought as a necromancy crystal. Ooh, okay. I mean, once I work with it, I'll be like, okay, cool, never mind. This is a cool crystal, but until I get it, and that's that. But how do you guys know? So maybe I would like you guys to go through a crystal catalog of just what raw crystals look like in nature. If the crystal disgusts you, like for example, people who are disgusted by Moldavite are people who are so far away from their true soul purposes that the only way they can ever find healing is by getting the Moldavite, and that's why it comes to them, is because they really didn't like the Moldavite. Somehow it ended up in their hands, even though they don't know about crystals, and that's how some people, even though they think it's a disgusting stone. What's another one? Rhodochrosite? No. Yeah, Rhodochrosite. I call it pink malachite because it acts like pink malachite. It acts like malachite as a pink version. Now that crystal kind of freaked me out because I'm like, it looks like meat. But for people who needed to work with that crystal's energy, they could have been betrayed in a past life, and the energies are trickling over to this life. And when I work with that crystal, just big gateways of heart chakra energy opened, and I became a much softer, more just compassionate, just like, oh, okay, cool, like chilled person. I'm like, instead of like, oh, this person, they might be distrustful, like I have to watch them when they join my live. No, now I'm just like, okay, cool, wonderful. Like I'm fully fine on that now. Before I didn't even like working with that crystal at all. Now I feel absolutely wonderful. Now I'm gonna tell you guys, if you don't know of a crystal, like you're like, well, I don't really have a problem. I looked at all the crystals and I don't think I have a problem with any of them. Like this one didn't do much for me. If it doesn't do much for you at all, if it's boring to you, it could mean that you really need to work with it, or it could mean that you're already used to its energy. So that's not a good way to tell. The most important crystal to you is the one that disgusts you. If you're like, this crystal's ugly, like I don't want to work with it, it doesn't look cool, it's boring, it's just like, its energies are blah. Maybe you read the description, you're like, ugh. Like, why would I want to work with rose quartz? It heals the heart chakra. And I've actually met people who are, and you'd be surprised, people who are like giant men who are like, I've dealt with people like 6'6", 6'7" men who are like, I don't need that pink crystal. What's that little pink crystal gonna do for me? They're like all macho and stuff, and when they get it, they start crying, and they're just like, what is this? What is this magic? Because they don't want to be healed of something that's deep in their heart, even from a past life. Guess what? If someone really hurts you in a past life, you're taking that over to the next life, to the next life, to the next life, until it goes away. And it only goes away by you healing it. It doesn't just magically go away. It doesn't just fade away. Those tendencies stay there. So find a crystal you don't like the most. I used to think kunzite was disgusting. I work with it and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because if you ever see the way kunzite ages, and you'll notice a pattern. So my pattern is heart chakra crystals, Vivinite. Dogtooth calcite's not particularly a heart chakra crystal. Vivinite, rhodochrosite. Just heart chakra crystals were a theme with me until I worked with them, and it opened a new gateway of abilities and a new gateway of just good energy and me feeling calm. I've been very fiery in the past, and being fiery doesn't always work out if some things around you get burnt as well. So if you really set someone straight and you don't lose the cool, if you don't tone the fire back, then you might actually set a friend straight who didn't need to be set straight. So you might actually yell at someone by accident. I mean, that's I've done that in the past. I'm very fiery. If I see something I don't like, I'm gonna be like, "Why are you still smoking cigarettes?" Or etc. etc. I don't mean to call anyone out on here, but I mean, I do care about people. So, but there's a way about going about that, and crystals like rhodochrosite actually help with that. So, for you guys, if you're like, I like all the crystals, well, we'll find out right now. What you do is, I don't have a picture of a. Well, okay, so, and this is actually. The method I'm going to teach you right now is actually pretty cool. It's associated with the Archangel Raziel, and he's the angel of secrets. He's the angel of heaven's secrets. He's the angels of secrets on earth. He knows arcane knowledge even like from the start, past, present, future on the Akashic records, everything that is to come, everything that is to be, everything that is happening. And what chakras you might have blocked, what crystal might be the best for you. So also, if you see a bunch of rainbows just randomly around, like you're seeing rainbows on walls, on floors, on TVs, on doors, on your phone, that's probably him giving you some knowledge. So one thing you can do is you can literally tap into his ray. His ray is literally the rainbow ray, just the ray of every single color. So look at a picture of a rainbow, like a naturally occurring rainbow. I wouldn't do it's just like a painting of a rainbow. You can, but it's not as you can if you can't really find a picture of a rainbow online, like. If you can't find a picture of a rainbow online, then I don't know how you found my YouTube video, but here's what you do. You look at the rainbow. Now find a color that you really like. Like, okay, I love the violet in the rainbow. Like, it's blending together with the blue, and it's like the vibes are immaculate. I wish my aura was that color. Like, maybe you just see something about the rainbow that you really like. Now, on a contrary part, go to the part of the rainbow that just, you're like, I don't think this part should be a part of the rainbow. I feel like this part should be cut out. Like, this, I don't think this one should be included. Most of you guys is red or orange. And guess what? Most of you have very imbalanced root chakras, because It's not popular to be teaching about the root chakra. Oh, the root chakra and the sacral chakra. You're like, what about the third eye chakra and the crown chakra and opening abilities? If you haven't worked with the root chakra, your third eye is going to be off. Your crown's going to be off. Everything else will be off. You guys will wait until you guys work with the root chakra, which is feeling safety. It's the fight or flight response. It's literally the first chakra that develops in our body. Well, the first known chakra. I'll make it nice and easy for you guys. But the next one's the sacral chakra. People don't want to work with the color orange because they're like, I don't like it. Yeah, it's not vibrant. Yeah, whatever. But when some of you guys get carnelian, it works stronger than amethyst. It works stronger than any other crystal for you guys because you didn't want to work with it. Keep in mind, carnelian is not the most popular crystal. People who are gifted people who are gifted in the sense that they know what they need to heal, they're going to work with. So people are like, I feel like someone might say, my energy is kind of off, so I'm going to be working with carnelian. Good job. Once you address that chakra, once you really fill that void, you're going to feel wonderful. Like the last person who got carnelian from me, his energy has gone through the roof. His opportunities have opened. People around him treat him differently. And keep in mind, when you wear a crystal, everyone around you is feeling your crystal. That's just that. Everyone's going to be feeling your crystal. Your crystal puts off an energy in other people's auras and energy fields because it's literally expanding. It's light. It's just pure light. The light's going to hit them. It's going to send them flying, or it's going to send them rejoicing. But carnelian is one of those crystals. And keep in mind, the most unpopular crystals are crystals such as red jasper, which is the red side of the root chakra. There's technically 3 sides of the root chakra. The red, the black, the brown. You learn more every day. There's a lot of different chakras in our body that people are not even teaching online. They're like, oh, yeah, the 7 chakras. Yeah, the 7. There's way more than 7. There are way more than 7 chakras. I talk about this in other videos. If you'd like to learn about that, watch my other videos. But the most important crystal to you is the one that repels you the most. The one is associated with... and if you didn't understand earlier, like, okay, I found the color on the rainbow that I like. I found the color on the rainbow I didn't like, and I don't know what to do now. Well, if it's red, it means you need to work with... the root chakra, definitely more red jasper. Essentially, I think personally for you guys, the most important crystal ever, I'm going to put this right now at the end, middle to the end of the video, is black tourmaline, black trumper, black tourmaline. I've seen so many different spellings on black tourmaline. I don't know if people were messing with me or if their keyboards were messing them up from being able to type it, because it is a very hidden crystal in the spiritual community that no one even wants to be it's disturbing. People are hiding information about black tourmaline, so you guys keep seeing sidekicks, keep seeing spiritual people who are going to remove hexes and curses from you. If you have black tourmaline, you don't need them, like, ever, unless the tourmaline breaks and it shatters and you can't use it anymore. And keep in mind, I have a black tourmaline necklace on my website that has changed several different lives. You can check the reviews on the website. I've changed lives in the course of an instant with black tourmaline. I personally think it's the most important crystal, because it's the most life-changing, it's the most protective. It's the simplest one. It's not the simplest one to use, but it's the simplest one to really see a change in your spiritual awakening. It changes everything around you. Like, I'm always going to talk about black tourmaline, always, because once I realize what it does in people's lives and how much it really helps people, black tourmaline's the go-to crystal. It's the best crystal because most of you, like I said, have imbalanced root chakras, and you guys are not taking care of the lower chakras. The solar plexus chakras, people will normally gravitate towards something like citrine, and they'll take care of it in some way. But the sacral chakra is a major reason as to why a lot of you have no energy. Did that just make sense to you? A lot of you don't have energy, and you feel lethargic, and you don't feel like talking to anyone. You feel irritated and annoyed, and you don't want people near you. You don't answer your phone. You don't answer your text. You don't answer your friends when they call you, but you don't have energy because you neglected a lower chakra. And keep in mind, our chakras work like a root system. Literally, the root chakra is the roots. The crown chakra, and if you see my hair, that'd be a reminder, the crown chakra is the leaves and the branches, and it stems out. What happens to a tree when the roots are messed up? You want to work with amethyst, you want to work with lapis lazuli, you want to work with these crazy moldavite, but you've never worked with a root chakra crystal? You wonder why you're so imbalanced. The most important crystal, the least important crystal is moldavite. I'll say that right now. most of you who crave Moldavite are people who crave grounding. Let that sink in for a second. If you really want to be entertained by a crystal, wear black tourmaline. People who are not even meant to be around you are not going to come anywhere near you. People will treat you differently. People will stop talking to you who are vacuuming your energy. Black tourmaline changes everything. If you really want to be protected, if you want the best crystal in the whole world, it's black tourmaline. And specifically, I suggest it as a necklace because when a necklace goes on the upper chakras, it's protecting the upper chakras. But when you're using a crystal as a bracelet, keep in mind, if someone cuts off your arm or your hand, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, but you don't need your hand or your arm to live. You don't need it. While if someone cuts this off, then you can't survive. The body is nothing without a head. The crown is essentially the most important chakra. I believe lower chakras are most important, but you can't operate without a crown. And the lower chakras actually affect the crown the most because keep in mind the flow of energy has to go from the root to the crown, and if you haven't balanced that up from the ground up, you're going to be completely imbalanced, messed up, and not know why anything's happening. But it's very, very simple. The most important crystals are the ones you don't want to work with, the ones you don't care about. No one's even looking at Jaspers online. They're some of the most powerful crystals ever. You guys like entertaining. If you want to be entertained, get yourself black tourmaline and watch no one who, people's facial expressions will drop towards you. Like when they go to say something bad, they'll have a ghost face. I call it the pan face because it looks like someone, like the cartoon characters when they take a pen and they go, it looks like that. People's faces look like they get hit by a pen when you wear black tourmaline, especially as a necklace. That's why you guys see such a difference when you wear it as a bracelet versus as a necklace. I have the necklace on my website. Check the reviews and let the reviews speak. I don't like spoiling it too much about what it's going to do. Black tourmaline does more than Moldavite will ever do. Size does matter when it comes to black tourmaline because it's such a heavy-duty stone. So the bigger the piece, the better. The smaller the piece, the more it's more likely to get overwhelmed. And I've seen it get overwhelmed time and time again. So even like if you just put black tourmaline in your windows and people are spiritually attacking you, easy to counter attacks. Just put selenite next to the black tourmaline. That's about it. The most important crystal is the one you need the most. It's just that simple. It's not Moldavite. I don't know if who came into my video thinking I was talking about Moldavite. It's not Moldavite. If any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Ciao!